Hey everyone, welcome to J&D Gardens. We're here in Garden West today in front of our beautiful Christmas tree. Well, it's a Christmas tree for about a month out of the year. The rest of the year, it's our all holiday tree. And that's because we actually keep it decorated year round. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But as we were taking down our summer decorations before we put on our fall ones, we looked at it and said, you know what? This tree could use a good haircut. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you today how to prune your tree. Now this particular tree is a 13-year-old Douglas fir, which is an evergreen, which means that it keeps its needle-like leaves year-round, hence the name evergreen. It's also a conifer, which means that it produces its seeds in cones rather than in flowers like most of our plants do. Now, there's two different forms of Douglas firs. There's an interior form and a coastal form. Now, interior form are more tolerant of the cold weather, and they work great here in the Northeast, especially here in New Jersey, where opposed to coastal ones enjoy a more mild and moist climate, and that's why you usually see them in the West Coast. Now there's a couple of reasons why you're going to want to prune your tree. One is to control the height. Some people have evergreens on their property and they let them grow forever, and that's fine if that's what you like. But for us, we actually designed a designated space for our Douglas fir, and so we don't want it to get any taller than about 8 or 9 feet, and certainly no wider than the radius we give it, because it actually has a walkway all the way around, so we don't want it impeding into that. So it's about 4 to 6 feet, so nothing more than that. So people often ask, when's the best time to prune your evergreen tree? And the best time to prune is when it's going into its dormancy or it's in its dormancy. And by that I mean at the end of summer, after all the growth has happened, right before fall, or at the end of winter, right before spring comes on and all the new growth starts. Now, before you start your pruning, you're going to want to determine what the leader is. And the leader is what the tree follows up as it grows, which will eventually become the trunk. And it's generally the highest part of the tree. Okay, so we're here at the top of the tree. And as you can see, our leader has gotten pretty tall. And actually, what became the leader is actually what's called, if you can see here, what's called a double. And for those who are familiar with tomato plants, it's very similar to what's called a sucker. So a separate branch kind of started off on its own, it's like its own tree, and it's growing pretty tall. And I think the reason why is this one starting to die out. It doesn't look like it has much growth on it, so it just kind of formed a new branch there. So I think what we'll do is it's not too far off from the main branch. I think we'll keep this as our leader. So what we'll do is we'll cut this old one. I have my loppers here, just in case it's too thick. I'm gonna cut this old one here. Oh, get in there. Yeah, it's time. And since we don't want our tree to get too tall, if you leave your leader long, then it's just gonna keep growing up. So by topping it, let me grab my shears here. I think we'll top it right around there. And we'll probably have to trim it. By topping it there, it'll stop our tree from growing, or it'll slow down our tree from growing more vertically, because we want it to grow more out and full. So I think the next thing we have to start doing is start tapering down the tree. Okay, so now that you have your leader established, you're gonna wanna taper down. By tapering down means we're going to want to cut off all these loose, these extra branches that are growing all the way down to the skirt of the tree. Now, the second reason you want to prune your tree is to fill in the tree. See, by cutting off all these extra branches, it's going to encourage a lateral growth to fill in the gaps as opposed to growing out and up, because we don't want that. Now, Douglas firs actually respond very well to pruning or shearing. It actually helps create a more dense and fuller tree. Okay, so pruning really isn't that difficult. Just want to get yourself a nice pair of shears, or you can use actually a hand pruner too. It'll just take you longer. Sometimes I even I use my electric garden shears. It just moves a lot quicker. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to do it slowly. So you're not looking to take off big chunks of the tree. You actually want to get up close to the tree and see what's sticking out. Usually when you buy the tree, it's already been being formed for like so many years. So whatever is sticking out, that's what you want to grab. You don't want to get crazy. You don't want to grab, oh, that's a stubborn one. And depending on how you hold it. And you don't want to, like I said, this is where the artistry comes in. I actually work better with the electric shears, but I don't want to show you all that. Like I said, just keep looking at it. Put your eye to it, and you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to cut off any major branch because then it'll take a long time to grow. So walk around it. And follow your leader. So follow the leader down for the taper. So as I go up, and some spots I'm just cutting very little, other spots I'm cutting more. And I keep walking around the tree, look at different angles, get up close to it. Don't want anything that's sticking out too far. Okay. Let me come around this side. It's looking good. Nothing sticking out too much. Just like I said, keep an eye. Nice taper is what you want. Use your garden shears. Nice. It's getting there. A couple of, like I said, just don't go too far in. Because unfortunately, you can't fix a mistake. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. You'll see what works for you. And always step back and look. Remember that old saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, this time you might have to cut twice, but that's all right. But cut a little bit at a time as you go. You'll get it eventually. Especially for a show tree like this, we don't want to get too many mistakes. Once we put all the decorations on it, it'll look terrible if we did that. Okay, you want to follow me around? Said just follow the sight line. Whatever sticking out too far. And if you do this every year or twice a year, like I said, in 2 times, it really won't be that much to cut. Now it seems like I'm going fast. I'm actually going pretty slow because I want to show you with the video, but you'll get the idea. You'll just know what works and what doesn't work for you. Probably can sharpen these a little more. But it's cutting pretty good. So again, step back, follow the taper. I have to cut that down a little bit. Follow, looks pretty good. A couple of spots. Oh, got something in my mouth. Come around. So, a lot of growth down here. I have my 22-inch shears, and it's so much easier for me to just cut through. And eventually, when you get good at it, you'll probably want to use something like that. It goes a lot quicker. If you watch some videos of professionals cutting Christmas trees in farms, they have this crazy setup. It's like a whole backpack with just giant shear, electric cutter, and they go around and cut the tree and trim it within seconds. It's pretty amazing. Okay. A lot of growth this year. That's a good thing, though, right? A little more work for us, but that's okay. I definitely got to trim a lot here. I'll step back. Some in my ear. Look around. Okay, so I'm going to continue around the tree. All right, we're starting to lose the light here, but as you can see, we actually cut a lot off, and we got our taper back, not too many fuzzy edges sticking out. And you see, it really wasn't too hard. Just take your time, walk around the tree, step back, look at it from the side, grab all your angles, make sure you're getting any ones that stick out too far, and you'll keep it nice and groomed for years to come. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you're growing a Douglas fir of your own. And if you are, send us some pictures. We'd love to see them. And especially if you decorate over the holidays, send us some pictures. We love seeing that. And if you're interested in how we decorate our tree here in Garden West, you can check it out on Facebook, on our Facebook page at J&D Gardens NJ. We'll leave a link below. And be sure to hit like and subscribe. So until next time, remember, yes we canna.